guys, welcome back to our YouTube videos. We had to take a little bit of a break of doing the YouTube videos just because there's only 2 of us and we've had a lot kind of just thrown at us and on our plate lately. So we did not mean to leave you hanging with the programs. We did not do, I don't think, a workout video for the whole month of July, and it wasn't intentional. It's just we can only do so much at one time. But I am going to be getting into these videos again. We're going to be getting into them. We do have 3 new programs available on the website, so please head to the link in the description. We have a beginner program that's geared towards women. It's only 3 days a week. We have Lucas's program, which is a 5-day split, which is 3 upper body days and then 2 leg days. And then for my workout, it will only be a 4-day program this month, and it will be 2 upper body and then 2 leg days. Also having surgery as of tomorrow, which is Tuesday, July 30th, and there is a big part of me that doesn't really want to share this whole situation again because this is now the 3rd time that I'm getting nose surgery, but I pride myself in being honest and as real as possible with you guys, and I just want to honestly just continue keeping it as real as possible. I do not want to hear your negativity on my comments. I do not want to hear this looks botched, you're this, you're that. Like, I just, at this point, I'm already so frustrated that I have to go down again and be put under anesthesia again for the surgery. Basically, every surgery that I've had, it's improved. It's just the cosmetic portion of this procedure has not been to my liking at all. And as I've actually healed, my right nostril has collapsed a little bit. And it kind of looks distorted when I'm like front on with the camera, and it makes my job and doing my job very hard. And if I want to work with larger brands in the future, this is something that has to get fixed. And what once was just a breathing issue, it has now turned into this huge eruption of things. We have obviously decreased my nose in size, but I was not really preparing myself for like 3 different surgeries, and I'm very frustrated, you know, but I'm going to be honestly posting my progress and the process as a whole. You can also watch my videos on TikTok. I'm very I would say authentic and just very honest on there as well. So if you want to have more of like a day in my life, like quick videos, I do post a lot on there. We do also post a lot on the shorts, the YouTube shorts. But yeah, as a whole, we're just trying to do the best that we can. We've had a lot of things going on behind the scenes. The management situation that we were dealing with ended up not being what we once thought it was. We are currently in the works and process of working with another team, so I'm hopeful for the best with that. You know, sometimes life just kind of brings its situations, and you know, we kind of have to just make the best of what we're given here in life. So but yeah, I just did all of my supplements. I did creatine, glutamine, and BCAAs. BCAAs are basically just branched chain amino acids. They're really good to use if you are not consuming enough protein, but I would say for me personally, I do get a lot of protein in my diet, and I focus a lot on, honestly, red meat, chicken, egg whites, those things like that. So this is more for me to have for taste. It's not really for the health benefit of it, I would say. I'm just being honest with you. I do prefer EAAs over BCAAs. They have a lot more benefits to them. But I would say my top 2 supplements from Cellucor would definitely be creatine and glutamine. Glutamine is going to be a lot to do with your recovery process, and it's also really great for your digestion. And creatine is helping with the transfer of energy to the muscle directly. You can also take glutamine and creatine whenever you feel like it. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be the same every day, but if you want to be regimented, I would say doing it either before or during your workout is my preference, at least. But after I drink this, I'm going to get started. I did a little bit of stretching. I kind of loosened up my hip flexor a little bit. I did the frog stretch, and I kind of just did the splits and whatnot. At this point, I want to just get to the workout. I have some things to do after this workout, and I can't eat after 12, so I have a lot of eating to catch up on today. It's been a Monday, so we're going to get after it.
Okay, so we're getting into the first superset right here. She's trying to find a good weight right now, but the first movement we have is adduction. And then we're gonna superset adduction with abduction. The big goal of the first superset is just to get blood flow into your groin and into your glutes. The more we can get your legs warmed up to that good sweet spot with blood flow, the better you're gonna see that transition and carry over into your other workout. So slow and controlled reps. She's focused on getting a stretch and squeezing each rep. It's a very simple movement. It's hard to do this wrong.
Well, I would say also too, like just going off of what he just said, the biggest thing for me is like I'm not just like sitting flat up against the pad. Like I'm really like, when I'm doing it, I'm holding onto the handles, you know, and I'm actually like tucking my hips underneath me when I do this. So like when I'm opening my legs out like this, I'm actually like thinking about like taking my glutes and like really pulling them underneath me, so that when I'm sitting in the seat, my glutes are actually like turned on. And doing that actually makes the movement a lot harder rather than just, you know, like anybody can do that. But like having like the proper intent behind it of like, all right, we really want to feel that stretch here, squeeze your glutes, and then really focus on controlling it in and out.
And that's the big thing, especially with any movement you do. The more intention filled you can be.
Even if it's simple, like even if it's simple.
Anything you do with good intention, with good form, you're gonna get the most out of the movement, and that's how to approach anything. If you're a beginner in the gym.
Or life,
honestly. Go in it with the intention to do it properly and to do your best, and then adjust off of that. So the second movement in the superset is abduction, which we talked about. It's basically opposite of what we just said, but notice her positioning. Hips are driving to the back of the seat. She's hinged forward, and you're gonna notice that in that position with being hinged into the seat with her chest leaning forward, she's gonna maximize that glute engagement.
Guys, so next up we have the dumbbell RDL. This movement honestly is one of my favorite, like just like leg movements in general. I like the fact that I can really control like where the dumbbells go, like down my legs. Biggest thing with this movement is you see that my feet are actually like very parallel. And before I even start the movement, I'm really making sure that my scaps and my shoulder blades are actually like tucked behind me, rather than like having more of like a lean forward with the dumbbells, because these dumbbells are already heavy as is, and if I don't do that, my body's just gonna like naturally lean more forward, which is gonna hurt my lower back. So we want to avoid lower back pain and injury as much as possible. Making sure that my glutes are turned on and making sure that my hamstrings are feeling this movement. And if you start to see like the striation in my legs, it's honestly because I've been working at my leg days for like literally my whole entire fitness career, and honestly you should see separation in my legs at this point.
Okay, so the next movement we have is a cable kickback. So there's two things to notice in her setup. The first is she's standing on a plate. So the elevation off the ground allows her to kick her leg back without nailing her foot on the ground. So it gives that room for extra range of motion. The next thing to notice is the height of the cable. She set the cable height up to her knee. So doing the cable height at that length is gonna allow her to work a further range of motion where she can bring her leg back and then all the way forward. By bringing her leg more forward in that range of motion, she's gonna feel the insertion more in that glute hamstring right there versus just feeling it in the glute. So we prefer this cable kickback setup over any other cable kickback setup.
Now, if you guys want like a good cable kickback, I would definitely go on Jim Reaper's website and get one. I've had this for about like 2 years, and it's pretty in, like I would say, in good shape. I like the fact that it has, I mean, I feel like most of them do have this now, but I feel a lot safer when I like connect the cable to like both of these. I know, like, I feel like it's not gonna fall off. My preference, honestly. Focus in on what you're doing. Like, put the phone away. Don't be scrolling on social media. Like be intentful with the energy that you're spending in the gym. Like sometimes I look around at the gym and I'm just like, guys just don't get it. Like, we should all be grateful to be here. We should actually spend time sweating in here rather than just fucking around. Sorry, I had to say something. Okay, so going into the hip thrust, you're going to see that we have a bench inside the Smith machine here. I have not done a Smith machine hip thrust, and literally I can't even tell you the last time I did this. So I'm very excited, like, overall for this movement. And you'll notice that in front of me I do have 2 plates for my feet. I just take 2 25-pound plates and I put them kind of like a little bit, like I'd say like a foot and a half away from me when I actually get into the movement. And getting a barbell hip thrust pad just to keep in your gym bag is going to be super beneficial for you, because you can kind of just take it with you wherever you go and you don't have to like rely on the gym to have one. You'll notice too, when I get set up, my back and like almost by like my scapulas are very much so like against the bench that I have here. Some Smith machines will not be able to allow you to have the whole bench in there, so sometimes, like with that being said, sometimes you can kind of like take the Smith machine and like kind of like angle it to where like it might not be all the way in the machine. So just kind of find a way that like actually like works for you. This one just so happens that like we can actually fit it inside the whole thing, so that's great. You'll notice when I come down from the Smith machine, I'm trying to get full range of motion. So I'm bringing my body all the way down, and then I'm almost like extending up, but I'm still thinking about the movement in my heels. And I'm thinking about really squeezing my glutes and making the connection between my hamstrings and my glutes. Make sure you're really controlling the movement. Again, like we do not have time for ego lifting. If you like scroll back way back when, I used to talk a lot about just not lifting like an asshole, and that still applies. So.
All right, so we're on to the last movement of the day. Miranda wants more calves in her program, so we put more calves in her program. The big thing with calves, you want to work a full range of motion. You want to focus on getting a good stretch, a good squeeze each rep. Calves are probably one of the hardest muscle groups to grow because they're so used in our daily life. So you need a lot of volume. Some people have calves, some people don't. Those that don't have calves, train calves. Those that have calves, don't train calves.
We actually like literally talked about that the other day.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said it.
Like I don't really have like genetically gifted calves, so like I feel like I have to train them more than like everybody else. But anyways, we are wrapping up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am also very sorry that we have not been in our normal realm of YouTube videos, but we're gonna get back into it. Say a prayer for my surgery. I really like don't have the patience or tolerance for another one. So just say a prayer for me and stay up to date with my journey on TikTok. Love you guys, bye.